You're insulting everybody. We might start getting. So.
Yeah, I figured I'm not on my channel, so I don't know.
He can be his real self here.
Oh my god.
The mask has been revealed. I don't have to worry about... I'll just let you deal with the angry comments. It's not my responsibility. I'm like a bad house guest. I'm gonna like clog the toilets and not take out the trash and then dip out of here, and it's gonna be great.
I can mute whichever side needs to win. Feel free to talk over.
I want to win.
Well, you're not editing the video, so you gonna get as a side.
This is without a doubt, the best Mothsu I've ever seen.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, I've never seen a better Mothsu, ever. And it puts all the other Mothsus to shame. Absolute garbage compared to this one.
She actually walked away.
Have fun doing this channel by yourself.
Some people just can't handle being wrong. Yeah. Sometimes people are just bad people and need to become better people. One time, my 3-year-old daughter at the time comes up and hands me a cookie. And she says, "Can you hold this for me, Daddy?" And she turns around, and I don't even realize it. I just eat it. Like, I heard her, but at the end of the day, I wanted the cookie, you know? I started crying, and everyone was like, "You ate your daughter's cookie." I was like, "I'll get her another one," and they were all out. That was a bad day.
Who are we collaborating with?
Monster, clearly. Although you would do the same. The HasLab campaign box up. Yes. I did not see the original art. He's being mean to me again, Adam.
I'm sorry.
No, you're
I chose
not.
violence today. I don't know how to do it again.
Yeah, so, Rogue, do you have anything else that you would like to say, or insult?
Yeah, lots of things. Let me get the list out.
Today we have with us Rogue, who is going to be joining us on this kind of crusade of painting, looking at things.
Yes, a veritable crusade. I have my red pen and notes to be taken. No, I'm just excited to see other people's work, and you know, if anyone knows me, knows I love painting. I love seeing people's expressions. So I kind of beg to be here, kind of clawed at your door and said, "Let me in."
Yeah, but we're so happy that you're here, and thank you for taking this time on this Saturday evening to be with us and basically enjoying a scene escape that you're probably more into and more experienced with than we are.
Oh, happy to be it. Let's dive right in.
All right, so first up we have Dylan Fernandez, and we have this beautiful Bach Berna. I'm going to start off and say that I just love those eyes. Like, those eyes with the red outline is just fantastic in my mind.
Yeah, they did a really great job of just having a bit of glow to it and kind of have it be a centerpiece that guides your direction. So I was really happy with the eyes as well.
Now, we came back and we're looking at this the second time, and I noticed the extra, like the glow effects on the knees and the feet and on the arms.
Oh yeah,
I didn't notice it the first time around.
It's like the sword actually is a light source, and it's casting it onto the legs. That's a good catch.
The OSL is really, really great. OSL is really that's on-source lighting is what that stands for, and it's pretty much what you're saying is where that object emanates light. It's a hard thing to visualize and create, and I think it really just adds and enhances the model, almost makes it kind of give it like a neon aesthetic to it.
Oh, and I see it in the face too. It's like the eyes are actually a light source and it's emanating off of it.
Well, hold on a second. You've just noticed that the eyes were glowing.
Yeah.
I love you.
Too busy focused on the toes, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that brings up another kind of thing. What are your thoughts on basing figures?
I'm pro base. That's what it's all about, is the base, and otherwise it's just a flat brown model. I've seen some people do some like green texture. Once you start working with the models enough, you realize that you start hating the stickers. You know, it's if you paint your own models because it's so hard to work around. I think just a little bit of base is really makes these models come alive. That's my 2 cents.
Do you have like a basing material that you like to use, or like for example, this one has this grass material?
Yeah, so I think the grassy material, it's some good flocking, nice and simple. What I've really liked using, though, I think really matches the aesthetic, is like texture paste. You kind of put it on and wait a bit for it to dry, and then it gives it kind of like a stony concrete look, kind of like an homage to the kind of the original basing we saw in the HasLab campaign, those pre-painted figures. But there's so many different... I'm actually not the best at basing. I kind of get lazy at that point, even though I think it's a really fun thing to do. There's some people that do great base work, but even some simple glue and grass like this really is all you need for these figures, I'd say.
Did we talk about the purple-pink colors? Because I love the purple-pink colors. As a choice, I think it's the first time I've seen a Bachberna with those colors, and I think it's fun and I like it.
Yeah,
like,
the purple and pink.
Yeah, especially with like the maroonish red shorts.
I would not expect Bachberna to wear that color, but it works on him.
It's good for his skin tone.
It makes him feel more Utgar, which I appreciate. Personally, probably wouldn't have done the red pants, but I see what they were going for. It kind of ties all the colors together with the eyes and the pants. The real star, I'd say, is the pistol and the glow effects. I think really tie it together. If you notice, they actually put like a lot more effort on the glow and a little bit less, a little bit less detail on the pants and stuff like that. And that's a great way to kind of direct your eyes. You put more detail on things you want people to notice.
I think that's great to move on to probably the most, I don't know if I'm going to keep this, but chaotic painter. I'm going to say it now here. And that is, you just tap on the side.
I'm gonna tap on your side. There we go. I got it.
And so we have Daiso in with, on the left, we have Maid Marion as Kita, as Awashia, and Duolingo as Anshu.
Risen from the dead.
Yeah, risen from the dead. Okay, so I have to pose this question to everybody before we get to kind of the paint, the awesome paint job that this is. Which Valkyrie general saved Duolingo from from death?
Vidar.
Vidar.
It's gotta be Einar. I'm gonna be Einar.
Einar,
lots
really?
of cultures, lots of languages, clear communications key in that. You know.
Okay, I was gonna
Greek,
go.
Roman. Vidar, they all just speak robot. That's.
Were you gonna say Ular because he's a bird?
No, I was gonna
and
say.
green.
you know,
That's two. That's two.
Actually, I was gonna say Ular. You're right, though.
No, I think Roga's right. It's totally Einar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
Vidar.
We all
though,
know Einar's making passive-aggressive threats against all the other generals. Like, you haven't really fought in a while. You really should.
Or else.
Oh my goodness.
Or else.
Okay, so circling back to the paints. My personal favorite is the Duolingo owl. I think that's just a cool idea. And that's a lot of what Daiso does, is just find the really cool alt paints out there.
I think all these models, if you know what they're referencing, I think it's the reference is really immediately apparent. You know, like Ursula, I think is a star for me. Just because you look at that, if you were born in the Disney Renaissance or around that time, you're like, oh yeah, that's Ursula. It's very clear, and I think just the colors are very well divided with the speed paints used. I think it's very clear and very simple, and layering up like gray paint with speed paint is sometimes a bit harder to do to not make it look so muddy and like gray. So they might have used real acrylics for that. But overall, just always excited to see a Daiso paint job. They're always great. Make my day.
So I do have a question about that. How do you know that Daiso use speed paints?
It's slightly transparent, so the undercoat shows through. And also, I've just heard Daiso say that she uses speed paints. So
That one.
That's fair. The little insider knowledge there.
I love Ursula. I opened the email and I saw this photo with zero, she had all the comments there saying what everything is, but with I instantly recognized Ursula with zero added information without actually reading it. I was like, yep, that's Ursula. And it makes me, I look at it and it's such a perfect fit, thinking, why didn't more people come up with that idea? Because Iwasha was made to be Ursula. Just look at her. And Anshu was made to be the Duolingo owl who haunts my nightmares. Have you done your lesson today?
Uses that body language.
Oh man. So Maid Marian, is that from the old? Was she going after the old Disney or older Disney maid, like the fox, where Robin Hood was? Yeah, they were foxes, weren't they? That is.
Oh, now I get
Oodalali.
it.
Yeah. Oodalali, what a day. Yeah. Okay, that's been a very long time since I've seen that movie.
Daiso's paintings always bring me joy. That's just to cap it off with that. They're great, and I have to almost get my paintings done fast just to try to get an old paint job in before she submits her own.
Thank you, Daiso. And we're now moving on to Joe.
Sour cream, right?
Yeah, it's sour cream.
Okay.
From Joe, in his email, we have, here is my paint job for the Battle Balls and Iron Lich. I'm entering my Iron Lich into a sci-fi painting competition at my local game store. We'll have to reach back out to him and see how the Iron Lich fared.
I thought you said failed. Trying to hear you through the headphones and was real confused.
No, not...
Don't mind me.
No, I'm curious to see how this did in the competition for sure. Because this is a really great paint job. There's a lot of subtlety to it once you kind of zoom in. Just the kind of the degradation and weathering on the Iron Lich specifically. They're just really, I like that they kind of brought the colors down a bit from yellow to orangish. Just because yellow is not a fun color to work with. And it kind of, there's a lot of yellow in AOA. So less yellow we have, the happier I get.
So I've heard a lot of people complain about yellow. What are your thoughts on kind of yellow and working with yellow and why orange is a little better for you, Rogue?
So yellow, you have to have a plan. When you go into it, you don't just start doing yellow just because it's naturally a thinner paint. So when you use a thin paint and you want like a nice kind of solid covering like that metallic surface has, it just takes so long to layer it up. If you layer it up over just like you prime this black, you're like, oh, you know what? I actually decided I do want to paint this yellow. You're spending multiple layers trying to layer that up, and ultimately, if you don't have a plan, aren't using the right techniques, it's going to look streaky and blotchy. So orange is a bit darker. It's more close to red, so you can kind of, it's not as thin as yellow.
Adam, care to share your experience with painting robots yellow?
There is a game out there called
Monster Apocalypse, which I got the kind of robot faction. I decided that I would paint them in the vein of Borderlands in the Hyperion colors. Yeah, I learned the hard way that yellow was not the easiest thing to put on top of black. Probably an entire bottle of Monument's golden yellow.
Oh, that's a thick coverage too, yeah.
It was warm yellow.
Was it warm yellow?
Yes, you went through a bottle and a half.
A bottle and a half of warm yellow. Monument's
There
warm
were
yellow.
like 4 little robots and 1 larger robot.
Yellow paint is actually so transparent, and black, like primer, actually is just really, really dark blue. So when you use that, it actually transitions it to like a greenish yellow, kind of a gross looking yellow. And if you want a bright yellow, you have to, the best color is to use a pink actually, and layer over that. Pink or brown.
Back to Joe's paint job. I'm in love on the back view. I just love this blue and silver kind of like just the vials and that stark contrast between the silver and that blue. And you can kind of see it through the front and even into matching with their the battle balls, as Joe put them, but we're gonna call them Roly Boys.
The proper name. No offense.
Roly boys.
And I'm also really in love with the skin.
Skin tone.
Especially on the Roly Boys. One of the back pictures, I'm just in love with the muscles on this guy because, not for that reason, but it just the tone, right? The tone of
The grayish purples.
Well, tone as in, I never really thought of the Roly Boys as going to the gym and lifting a bit. This makes me know that they're going to the gym at least 5 days a week.
They're swoly rollies.
Swolly rollies! I love it!
My compliments to the artist on this is really just the paint application so smooth. It's not streaky at all. And that takes a lot of work in a model this big. The blues, as you were saying, I really love how it better contrasts the orange used compared to yellow. It's more of a direct opposite of that color.
You know what I'm noticing now that we have it up on this bigger screen than the last time we looked at it? Is the texturing inside of the vials.
Mm-hmm.
Is that looks like swirling liquid in there.
Yeah, it actually does look like he's going to give
Vial injections.
A vial injection now. All of these figures look like they belong together, and I think Joe did a really good job of making that uniformity kind of look really good.
I just love these guys. I wish the bases were finished. Just even a solid black. Like you can tell with the Iron Lich, just that dark contrast really ties it in together. But they probably planned on doing that after they're finished, before they put the pictures in. My last thought I have on these is the kind of the line work on the coils and stuff like that. It's really just there's clear separation, which is really nice. Nice dark shading. I can't tell if they edge lined that or just used a wash and painted over it, but it's very clear. Like they weren't too thick with the paint and kept that separated, and it makes it really strong and good focus.
Also, I just realized why the Roly Boys are so jacked in the upper body. They skip leg day every single day. Okay.
Even the viewers at home grow.
Okay, I'll just move on from that. And we'll move on to our next contestant on painting. Here we have Micah. And Micah wrote in, and
I got this.
Rowan's gonna read the message from Micah.
I got this. Okay, so it's a really fun story. Micah sent me an email with some photos right after the painting Mothrax video came out. They had not seen that we were doing another one of these, and they submitted their very own Mothsu, and I'm in love. So obviously, that had to make it here. Very obviously, it's Mothsu. They call him Anshu the Mothkanai. Iwasha, they said, I just wanted to give her more of a swamp monster feel, and Kita was inspired by the forest spirit from Mononoke, the Princess Mononoke.
This is without a doubt, the best Mothsu I've ever seen.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, I've never seen a better Mothsu, ever. It puts all the other Mothsus to shame. Absolute garbage compared to this one.
We've lost Rowan.
He can't see the fact that I am now hiding under the table because of his mean comments.
No, but the work is really great on this one. The eyes, just the way they layered the eyes to really pierce into your soul. I love it.
I agree. Their Mothsu is gorgeous. I love the eyes and the little bit of detailing on the face. I love the arms and the feet and the fur. Working with black and highlighting black is awful. And did I have my mic in the wrong place? But I mean, it just looks so smooth and pretty, and I might be a little biased, but I'm slightly in love with it.
It's awesome.
The figure that I probably want to focus on is Kita. What I just love this kind of golden color with the silver, and it's just like that slightly, well, I think it's actually copper. actually on this back plating. And it looks like it's starting to get a patina on it. And I don't know if that's on purpose or I'm just making crap up, but that's what I'm gonna say that I think this is like you have this golden colored Kita with a kind of coppery thing with a patina. And I also like the like darker colored face masks with these nice little kind of highlight paint ridges. So I'm a big fan of Kita.
There's elements of them all I really like. The color choices, specifically the metallics for Iwashia, I think that's a really unique choice. I think they probably layered that over some metallics to kind of get that sheen on it. It just looks kind of like a slimy bottom of the swamp, but in a good way. And they painted the eyes, which is really, really great too. I can't tell if they used speed paints or not on this, but they went through and did some detail work afterwards, it looks. Mothsu is, again, very, very bold, just layering that black, but they really made the eyes just pop out just by using strong contrast on that. And then Kita, honestly makes me want to go back and redo my Kita, because I like this kind of forest spirit mask. This Ghibli mask on it is just really, it catches the eyes a lot better than like just a little face mask it kind of normally has.
Is there a tier for base color? I'm a big fan of like top tier is painting the base brown, and then it's a black, and then like we start going down with custom colors. So
You just really want to start this argument with people.
I'm not starting an argument, I'm starting a discussion.
Black is kind of the standard. That's kind of what I personally like, but I go with brown when I paint Heroescape just to have it fit better in with my other stuff. I'm not bold enough to do this, but I like when they color it the general colors, and you know, that's a secret high tier for me. And then it's black, and then brown. It's tough to find a good brown to use for bases. Like there's so much, brown is such a wide color, and then unpainted bases are F tier. Paint your bases.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you're gonna paint it all that time in your model, you gotta go through and.
This is twice.
Yeah, he's throwing so much shade at you.
He has called me out twice on the same photo.
Sometimes we just don't have time.
Or you forget, and then are over it.
Yeah. Sometimes people are just bad people and need to become better people.
We're keeping all the mean things he says in the video, right?
Oh no! Oh no! Truth
You're
comes
not
out.
editing, so you lose!
And then we're gonna send them to your wife.
No! Well, she knows. She knows.
All right, I think that's a good segue into our next contestant on painting.
Paint is right. Painting. Painting.
Paint is right. Okay, and then straight away it's going to be, we talked about bases, and I might have purposely done that because I knew that this was coming up, and that this is probably one of the cooler bases that I've seen, and it's just because
You're gonna say with the figure who made it?
Oh yeah, we have Samuel.
Who's the figure?
Ziamara.
Okay, so you were talking about the base.
Yes. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I'm sorry, that a different base. But I really enjoy this base in that I love the idea that she's flying over water, that there's waves. It has the brown around the edge, kind of harkening back to kind of, you know, the uniqueness of Heroescape, but still giving that kind of fresh new look on the way that bases could be. Because I think that textured bases definitely, in the A to S tier.
But what if I want to use a ladder? Sorry.
All those competitive ladder matches.
Nobody wants to learn the rules for ladders.
I like when basing doesn't distract from the model and it tells a story, and I agree with you that this does both. Like, this is, I don't know, it's just like you could tell her that she's just dipping a toe and as she kind of flies off from it. It's a very evocative. And it contrasts well with the yellow. It's just, yeah, I think they used like a resin maybe and kind of textured it is what I would have to guess they used, but it's a really, really cool design.
I just love all around that we have the option to get the unpainted stuff to be creative, but things like this are when I really, really, really love it, because it isn't a far cry from the original, but it's like an upgraded version. the gold and the red detailing in there. It's kind of giving Christmas reindeer, but I also love that about it. Sorry. I tried to get that kind of look on a wings on a figure years ago, and I think that figure I threw away. It's so pretty.
I personally love this kind of emerald green metallic color, and that next to the gold I think is really good. And then like the gems look like gems, and that's amazing.
I don't know if this was the gold, but she kind of looks like an emerald ash borer.
That's a very unfortunate bug in North America, but yes.
Yes, but yes. It's a very pretty bug. You know, I'm surprised how much I enjoy that yellow cape. I hate the color yellow, and that's a very ugly color yellow, but it looks really, really nice with everything else.
Is there any saving a model once it's kind of painted? You know, tragedy happens, you throw it in a baggie, you know, take it to a game store somewhere, and you pull it out and your once straight sword is now saggy. Is there any saving the sword once you've painted?
Honestly, I talked to a doctor about that, and
oh, that's it. That's it. Okay.
If you look over there, he's just dying laughing.
Yeah, I think once it's painted, it's a lot harder because you don't want to damage the paint. But you could try like heat guns and stuff like that. But for the most part, you want to do all that kind of preemptive stuff beforehand. You could also just get like some clips and kind of try to push it back. But that was definitely like out of the box. They probably should have reformatted before painting because that's a bit of a droop it's got there. And also, it's a very separate part from the model, so you might be able to run it under hot water and fix it up there and just touch everything. But definitely, if you do any restorative things, definitely want a couple coats of varnish just to seal that paint in. And you should probably always varnish your Heroescape stuff because it's played with so heavily. It's not like a display piece, you know?
All right, I think that is a great segue into another Heroescape content creator, Skateboard, who has given us the Exiles of America.
So we're gonna start in your favorite place, and that would be basing, because they're all on the ocean, and they all have like seashells and rocks and rum. And I think that's just really, really fun. Ties it all together. I think it's a nice little added touch.
I feel like we need to pick a favorite, they don't have to be the same. Right, so my favorite, I think, is the chick with the sword and the gun.
There's two chicks with swords and guns.
Okay, the one with tentacles then.
This one.
Yeah, from the bottom up, right? I love that she's drinking. I love the shells. I love the beach is a little concave, and it's not too much water. It's just the perfect amount of water. And then just coming up, you know, we see like these pants, perfect pants, jeans, very American. And I really like these swords. Like, you know, I wouldn't consider myself a sword guy, but there's something about a red sword that's just kind of, you know, it means business.
The middle one reminds me of Kid Rock for some reason, and I won't elaborate further, but...
There's two ones in the middle.
The one that looks like Kid Rock, obviously.
I'm assuming you mean the one with the red hat.
Yeah, it gives me Kid Rock vibes. The Exiles I famously don't love, but they took all these little details and made them fun, which I appreciate doing. Also, they just catch the eye a whole lot better than standard Exiles, which is green on green on green. It kind of gets all muddy, typically, so these bright, vibrant colors really kind of... Also, they make them feel piratey, also kind of as well as American-y. But the little star spangled pants, the pantalones, the basing's top tier on these things. They really, again, they do that level of simple but tells a story. You know, these guys are all coastal pirates, so it makes sense that they have a little water lapping at their toes.
The one all the way on the right is in a motorcycle gang, and I will not elaborate. He has zero coordination, and I love that.
He's in a motorcycle gang with Dorum.
Yeah.
Yes. Him and Dorum are the cool uncles.
Yeah.
Born to be exiled.
I love like the way that they turned the one tentacle into the part of the bandana, and then just the texturing of the tentacles and the scales that he has. It's really fun. You haven't asked a very important question, Adam. Why is the rum always gone?
Oh,
That's why.
that's why.
Mine was a dumb joke.
Do we think that there might be naval boats in Heroescape at any point?
We're going to the sea, so I'm hoping for some even shipwreck terrain I'd be happy with. Even just, we have so much pirates, we have the ocean, which we're exploring, because Valeric is from Hawkland. I would love modular boat pieces, like with little wood pieces and kind of out, like a big castle set, but with like, shaped like a boat that you can just put like wood hex tiles inside of it would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big boat person. So, not why is that funny?
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'm a big boat person.
I'm a big boat person. I'm a big fan of boats.
I like big boats, and I cannot lie.
You other boaters can't deny.
You other boaters.
I want to sail the seas. I want water to have more of an impact too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't go into it unless...
I'd rather jump into lava because at least it's over fast. When you're in water, you're just trudging slowly. But some boats able to go through all the waters of Valhalla would be a great add-on because, you know, you have all that water tile now. Let's do something with it. An interactive terrain piece you can pop figures on and travel them across big lakes would be awesome.
Renegade, take notes.
They don't watch our videos.
I know. All right, are you ready?
Yeah.
America.
America, goodbye.
America!
On to...
Sky Whale. Yeah, so this is painting some classic 3D prints, it looks like here. And Sky Whale did a great job of tying these into some classic Heroescape elves and also changing some of the designs to be kind of some cool alt schemes. I cut my teeth on making Heroescape proxies, so I appreciate when people start doing that as well. Not that that was the first, but I love a good proxy that you could bring to an event and be like, oh yeah, this is real. This is legitimate.
We have our nemesis there, the ladder.
The ladder?
The ladder.
The enemy to great basing. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us how you can tell that these are 3D printed just from these pictures.
So if you zoom in, you can see a bit of loss of detail. Like, it starts to get a little muddy around faces. Also, they're just on separate colored bases that aren't on Heroescape bases. I mean, if you zoom in really well, you can see some supports under some legs. It looks like they actually did this on FDM. Pretty great quality for FDM compared to resin. See some layer lines. There's a couple tells. Not that it's bad. If I was less of an honorable person, I would try to see if I could paint some stuff to sneak into an official tournament and see if I could get away with it. I won't, but it's a fun challenge to see who can make the most realistic looking imitations.
That's a great point. Personally, I feel like bringing proxies of old stuff to tournaments, I don't know. I'm on the vein of that's okay. There is a bit of, you know, we just moved from pirates, right? And it is a form of piracy morally to print, but you know, these aren't in print anymore, and they're, you know, becoming more and more rare with the advent of Heroescape kind of becoming more popular, right?
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of, I kind of asked, you know, how do you tell that something's 3D printed and not like official Heroescape? Because there is some concern out there of people printing and producing figures and passing them off as original Heroescape. So I like kind of that question was to, you know, hopefully if like things to look for if you are trying to buy original Heroescape, that you actually do get original Heroescape.
The big thing is look underneath the bases. Always ask for a picture underneath the bases because the figure will have its peg in the base and no scaper is going to go through and put them in the... If you do that much work, it's just like you're making real pieces, you know? If you should see the plastic bit on the bottom of the base is the clearest telltale sign. It's also a great way to see repaints because usually it's like an injected plastic. And, you know, if you have like a knight or a Sir Hawthorne that's actually just a repaint, look at the bottom of the base and, you know, if it's a silvery metallic color, it's probably a repainted Sir Hawthorne type of deal.
Yeah, that's very fair. And all the bases for original Heroescape kind of all have different lines and stuff underneath them that are kind of hard to fake.
I've never seen a perfect recreation of a base. I think we're getting there, but even then there's still telltale signs. Just because the material isn't commonly used in printing and the color is a bit hard to get exactly right. So it's the bases is your biggest key to identifying fakes.
So back to the kind of the paint job. I love cohesiveness. Everything in the photo is kind of, it melds together. It feels this is an army that is fighting together under their own the banner that they did. And I'm just now noticing that they also have is that on Alcalor's flag there's a little tiny stencil sticker. I'm still really embarrassed to think that back when you sent us the ghost knights, and I was like, oh my goodness, how in the world did Rogue paint these little Utkar symbols on these figures?
No, I cheated. I just used a sticker. Yeah, they're called water slide decals. It's a great tip to get great way to add flag bearer stuff, shield emblems. Definitely if you're looking to kind of get those and don't want to freehand Utgar's face 10 times for the minions, definitely look into it. It's there's some resources out there to get that going.
And what can we can't let this pass. Loving the lava lamp in the background.
Yeah. It's that's the best part of the picture right there is the lava lamp. No, but I love the autumnal gradient on Achelar.
Akalar?
Akalar?
Akalar.
Akalar.
Akalar?
Akalar.
Aklara?
Akalar?
Akalar. Pass.
However you say his name. It's a really fun blend of colors. I don't know if they use wet blending or just kind of layered it. The original Aqualar is kind of bland. He's got a really cool flag, but a really bland design. It really catches the eyes. I like oranges and yellows blending to greens. It's a fun gradient.
All right, I think that's great to move on to our next contestant.
The paint is right.
The price is paint.
But anyways, this is Zenipoo by Swarm. Rogue, also for this one, it's great for you to kind of explain where you think the inspiration for this came from.
Swarm's Zenipoo there. Oh, I can't say that. Swarm's Zenithrax. Yeah, so this is based off the HasLab box art that was released. A really cool, swirling kind of collage of all the figures duking it out. Railen had this kind of cool, I guess, neon techno color scheme going on there in the art, and this is a lovely and brilliant homage to that, I'd say.
I would say that, and you're gonna laugh at me by what I say, but I'm gonna say it anyways. I love the mouth. I can see the pinkish of the tongue, and the white of the teeth. I think is really good. I would say that maybe they're a little too white. I don't consider Zenithrax as a brush twice a day kind of dragon. So I would expect Zenithrax to maybe have a little bit of plaque and tartar build up from, she's a busy girl. She's got to conquer, a lot of generals. She's laying vines everywhere.
Are you okay?
That's fine.
The Dragon Dental program on Valhalla is out of this world. Swarm is honestly one of my favorite painters. I love seeing all their work. Every time they post something, it inspires me to paint something new. It's just really fun colors, really bold colors, I'd say. Kind of this purple transitioning to a bright blue is really, really I love that contrast.
The hands as well, the very, very bright blue palms, and then on the back of the hands you have this deep purple with lighter highlights.
The colors in general, I love the neon green poking through the ribs and the swirls on the armor, and then just kind of the drips or lightning bolts of that green on the wings. It's just a really fun pop of color, and the mossy green that's up here on the horns, I think is just a fun little whatever this means. Yeah, also, I love that her nostrils are also neon green.
I don't know. I actually don't like that the nostrils are neon green, because that means that the same material inside the nostrils is all over her body.
A mucous membrane?
That's just snot. It's snot all over.
It's a glow, I think.
I think so too. Yeah.
You're just weird.
I love that OSL. I'm just saying words now.
Those were letters, actually.
I think they must have free-handed that inner lightning bolts, because that's hard to do right there. That yellow greenish part in the middle, like it really ties it all together. But they made it nice and uniform, but also jagged. That's like a lot of work. I'm impressed by it.
I think we're going to bring up the difference of opinion that we have on the direction that Heroescape has gone, because you're a bigger fan, Rogue, of kind of darker, like more kind of this theme, right? Than what we got with Renegade and kind of the lighter side of Heroescape. So, do you want to go into a little what your thoughts of the direction of Dark Heroescape should have been?
So I don't think it should be Dark Heroescape for sure, but the yellow and Zenithrax doesn't tell a story. It doesn't inform us of what its abilities are, and it's, you look at a giant yellow dragon, you don't think, oh, this thing shoots vines of the ground. Or you look at a giant yellow dragon, you don't think this is a mystical warden from an alien planet where their natural selves formulate to their purpose in life. It's just a big dragon. And I think it's just more art direction and personal style. I don't think it's bad, but this is compelling. You look at this and there's a story here. Why is this thing glowing from the inside out? Why is its hand glowing? It's just a lot more where it catches the eyes. And from a painting perspective, darker colors look better pre-painted than brighter colors typically do.
I am a fan of the art direction, and that might be unpopular, of Currentscape, but that's mostly because I am more of a brighter boy. As I'm gonna call it now. I like bright colors. I like good contrast, but I like more on the light side of painting than the dark side. If anybody has seen my Killian Vane, then they kind of understand what that is. You don't need to bring him out. He's perfectly fine with his bubble gun goodness. No, they're not going to be able to see that. Put it away. They don't need to see that.
It's great. I love him. Darker colors are easy to make contrast with, but I think I have more of a problem with the general overall art direction of the box art compared, like where this is from, compared to the new stuff. But I could honestly talk too long about that. I would pull up PowerPoints and bullet points. I don't want to muddy the video with box art direction, but I loved the old box art. I want a poster of it on my wall.
I think we need to go a little deeper on this, to be perfectly honest, because
Okay.
Not right now.
I think we can. I think we can time box it, because I think we have a good discussion on this, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Outside of painting, I also have a history in graphic design and visual design. So this is me kind of. So you look at Age of Annihilation box art as we have it, the master set. What is the focal point of the box? It's divided into 3 segments, with a white line running diagonally opposite other parallel line. So your instant is to focus on the white line in the background because your eyes are automatically attracted to brighter colors, whereas this giant dragon in the foreground should be the star, but it's placed in such a manner that it doesn't immediately draw your attention. Then you have a dark shadow behind it, obfuscating it even more. And then besides that, we have images of characters that don't exist in the actual game, or in manners that they don't exist. That's more of just a lore technical aspect of it. Whereas this art is probably tritone, quadrone. It uses 4 colors, and it follows a Fibonacci sequence where it's a swirling spiral to a bright light in the center. So your eye follows this bright light corner. It follows the combat, and then goes in the middle where there's this giant beacon beckoning you to the name of the game. So it just flows, and I think it conveys better what Age of Annihilation was about compared to the new one, which is someone sees this in the store, they don't immediately know what is going on here.
Here are my thoughts on the original box art from the HasLab campaign to what we got. I think you're right. I think that composition is better in the HasLab. The thing that I don't like about the HasLab, I don't think it correctly conveys the tone of what Heroescape is. I think it's too dark symbolically. Like, I think it's encroaching more into like a 40K feel, which, like, honestly, there's nothing wrong with 40K, but I don't want Heroescape to become 40K. And I think it's good that there is a distinction between kind of the vibe that Heroescape gives and the vibe that 40K gives. And that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see there's a tonal shift. But if you look at Age of Annihilation, it does speak of a heavier tone compared to kind of these mild skirmish battles that we've gotten so far. So the Age of Annihilation, as originally pitched, was a more mature, more intricate game. But ultimately that failed. So I agree that people probably want... I think the original box art is fine. I would just make a couple of adjustments to make the stars and the story a bit clearer, as this is it's all kind of muddled together. I think the composition distracts from it, but it is bright and it's not unpleasant to look at.
Well, thank you for that in-depth. I love the analysis. Like, honestly, I'm glad we took the time. So I think that's a good I think we've talked about this a good amount. So
Don't use the word segue.
Yeah. We can
Szechuan. We can
gently stroll.
Skip on over to the next one.
Escape on over.
I hate it here.
Skip on over
to Tyler Allred, Railen, who's pretending to be evil.
This Railen isn't all red. It's got some black on it. I have objections.
Oh man. You know, we haven't gotten any hate comments yet, Rogue, but you're insulting everybody. We might start getting. So
yeah, I figured I'm not on my channel, so I don't really care.
He can be his real self here.
Oh my god.
The mask has been revealed. I don't have to worry about... I'll just let you deal with the angry comments. It's not my responsibility. I'm like a bad house guest. I'm gonna like clog the toilets and to not take out the trash and then dip out of here, and it's gonna be great.
Hold on. What house guest takes out the trash?
I don't know. A good one.
Guess what bad house guest?
Coming back to Evil Railen, I'll start off this one and just say that I love those eyes. Like there is that one little tiny highlight there that I am so jealous of. It is so round. It is so perfect. I want to one day be able to put an eyeball in like that, because my eyeballs, that whole thing would be white, and it would not be a single circle. It would be
staccato.
Yeah. So I am very impressed with that eyeball. I'm also super happy with the claws and that nice brown base. You like
the white claws?
Yes. I feel it's just really fantastic.
Yeah, this is a really, this is when I was talking about focus. That eye just draws you into the rest of this model, which I love. I actually think they probably did 3 layers on that dark red, then like a lighter pinkish color, and then a white to really sell that kind of flowing contrast on it. I
really enjoy this like gunmetal and gold combo that the Battle Kitty has going, that then translates up into her armor and into her spear.
I'll say this is the worst model to paint like the base on, because it's just so hard to get underneath it, and they did a really good job of not getting on the toesies and the feet of the model. It's very just clean and separated, which is I had trouble with that, just like getting underneath the belly, and it's one of the hardest models to kind of fully do.
I heard somebody say that these models have not been designed with painting in mind.
That's what, yeah. I feel the same.
But just some of them, there are spots that unless you have a curvy paintbrush, you're not getting to. I know this has nothing to do with the paint, but I love the little bat ears. I love the Battle Kitty. Can I have a Battle Kitty?
He's a scorpion.
Manticore.
What is a manticore?
Part man, part scorpion, part tiger, historically.
Yeah, so...
There's no man on it, so it's
just... Yeah, but he isn't a... But if you say she's coming in riding a giant scorpion, people aren't expecting that.
Yeah, but it's... Why does the kitty part get so much more love? Why can't we say battle scorpion?
No! Because I
These are the
have
questions.
declared it as such. It is a battle kitty. You didn't know that it was a manticore until our last painted video.
Yeah, now I'm accepting it and throwing it back.
You don't get to do
Well,
that
it's
because you
not-
tried to deny it.
It's not a manticore because there's no man facial features. It's just a ticore, I think, is the better name for it.
And then if you put it on a wall, it's decor.
Yeah, it's ticore, manticore, scorpion. About the model as well, I like the dual-toned wings as well. I think that's a fun little touch. Kind of a brighter shade of red to kind of go with, kind of matches the battle scorpion's wings as well.
He's just being mean to me today. And not every manticore has the face of a man, my guy. Look up your folklore.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I love the tusks as well. Just the whole, I agree. The armor is really good. I really wish I could see the scorpion's tail though, because I think there's a lot of good detail back there that we're missing.
You said that just to be mean to me.
Well, if Rogue's doing it, can't I?
No! He's like 3 states away.
Sorry, I'm just capturing the description of a manticore, which is a man-eating creature from ancient Persia, depicted with the body of a lion, the head of a man, and a scorpion-like tail. I'm just screenshotting that and sending that your way.
Oh my gosh. I literally just, you look it up and the first 20 photos are a lion's head. Bite me.
So it's part man?
I mean,
Yeah.
All right, well, so we could say riding in on a human. It's not connected to anything. You could have walked away with it.
I know!
She actually walked away.
Have fun doing this channel by yourself.
Some people just can't handle being wrong. I'm sorry.
To anyone wondering, yes, I am in an abusive relationship.
Hello, police?
I'd like to report a murder. Okay. Back to
And I'm
the
just
battle
here.
kitty.
It's cool. It's a cool cat.
Part human, part cat, part scorpion. Moving on whose paint is it anyway?
That's not funny. What he's not telling you is the name of the show I'm currently in is Whose Wives Are They Anyway?
So we have Glenurva, and this is Vinny902 who painted this.
I like her chicken feet. And I haven't looked at the original model because does the original model actually have chicken feet?
I think so.
I love that this was painted to make it very obvious that she has chicken feet, and I think that like Glenurva in general was kind of Aztec-y designed, but I love that that kind of ties it into it again. And then the purple, I love a good purple-blue combo. The wings are nice, and I like colors, and there you go, it's your turn now.
Something that really stood out to me that I really like is this gold plate. It looks really like gold plating to me. And I don't know, I sometimes feel like that's really hard to do on a model, is to actually get something to look like the material that you want it to. And so I really enjoyed that. I also really love on the back, this kind of, going from black to blue to purple, and that just falling around the whole model. And also that back headpiece, the back of the headpiece just works really well.
Yeah, I really like this model, kind of based off what you were saying, that the blue, the purple, black. It makes really great use of auxiliary colors, like colors that are very close to each other on the color wheel, and then it brings in that bright yellow as a strong contrast to it all. So it really just it's pleasing to the eyes because it has a bunch of colors close to each other that look like they are close to each other. Then you have this bright yellow as a centerpiece, as just to kind of remind you, your eyes love contrast. So the more separation of brights and darks, or kind of placement on the color wheel, the more your eyes will be like, your brain will be like, oh, this is delicious. This looks delicious to my brain. So yeah, they did a really great job of using those colors effectively, and this isn't really, again, like on them. I had the same problem. There's like some unseemly mold lines on the hands, which just kind of like catch the wash when used on it. But that's not like on them. They did a good job of going around that. That's more of just I think I noticed. My biggest advice is, unless it really is distracting, don't care about it. Just this posing, I could have noticed it on the hand specifically.
Yeah, I would also say I like the silver buttons on the very front. Those just, to me, like, if you zoom really far in, they actually look kind of like they're mirrors.
Yeah.
But they're like very, very shiny. I kind of like, the only thing about this model that I'm not the biggest fan of is I feel like there could have been more done with the staff.
I don't know. I kind of like the simplicity of the staff next to this very opulent Glenurva.
I agree with you on the staff. I like the simplicity, but I also wish we have a lot of like blank. I wish there was some kind of connection piece between like the staff and the tip there, because it's hard for like a painter to decide if you want that to be two different materials or like just one kind of big piece, or in the very least have it like just be slightly textured, because it's hard to kind of make it a bit more interesting.
I think that's very apt. Also, looking at the model, I've noticed that there's two kind of things that are really unfortunate. Is at the bottom of the base, it looks like there's chips and things coming up. And there's also in Glenurva's hair, there's chips coming off, and you can kind of see the underneath. Do you have any tips or tricks of like people painting, of ways that either to make sure that doesn't happen, or, you know, like what you do to make sure that you don't get that to happen for you?
Yeah, so this is a two-part question. One is priming. Well, first is you want to wash your model. When you get a model, there's sometimes dust, residue, or like release agents they use to get it out of the factory in the mold. You want to scrub it with like warm water and dish soap, and like a brush or a toothbrush to get rid of some of that kind of barrier that forms on it. Let that fully dry, and then any primer you apply will stick better and not peel off with this material, is what I found. And then after you're done painting, let it all dry, and as always, put a couple coats of clear coat or varnish on it just to really seal it all in. Lock all the colors in. That way, because HeroScape is a game that's played a lot. You know, I have this problem. I think the materials on the bases doesn't adhere very well. So you definitely just want to make sure that you get all those parts, both the wash, the primer, and the varnish.
All right, I think that's the end of our pictures and slideshow. So to everybody that has submitted things, thank you very much. We've enjoyed all of these, and we didn't get to every photo that was sent. We're sorry about that, but you know, this video is probably long enough with what we've shown to keep people entertained. Thank you, Rode, for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is a great discussion, and even though you've insulted us and
A lot.
you know, thank you for being here. If anybody wants to send us more stuff, where can they find us?
We love doing these types of videos, and since there's stuff coming out all the time, and there's so much creativity, there's stuff being made all of the time. So if you just have something and you really want to send it in, even if we haven't said that we're going to be doing a video, I'm going to collect it. You can email any and all photos of paints and things to rowan@hexala.com. You're going to put that on the screen here, right? Wow. But if you have something that you really, really want to share, send it to me. I will take it, I'll catalog it, and it'll be there for our next time that we do one of these videos.
Yeah, so Rogue, do you have anything else that you would like to say, or insult?
Yeah, lots of things. Let me get the list out. No, I just really love all the art sent in. As always, just, you know, keep on painting those figures. I think just be encouraged that this is a community that we're all kind of learning to paint together. So I just say that I enjoyed seeing every piece. You know, my piece of advice I always like to tell people is the only bad paint job is the one that's not done. So seeing all these finished paint jobs really just brings me joy. Harassing Hexhala also brings me joy. And also remember, manticores are composed of people, tigers, and scorpions is the main thing to remember.
The worst part is he can't see me threatening him.
No, you can't.
I can't. I'm imagining it's not happening, so it's not.
All right, well, thank you. everyone, and good night.
If Ro goes missing, I had nothing to do with it.